Hi, my name is Rhiannon Clay. This is my observation video. I am going to be observing a high school 12th grade English 4 class. It's going to be a CT class, a co-teach class, so it'll have several special ed students in it. I'm expecting to see in the class, I'm expecting to see teacher in the power zone, especially since there's 2 teachers. I'd expect to see some differentiated instruction. I'd also expect to see a lot of reminders to stay on task, things like that that come with a co-teach classroom. I would hope to see both teachers being involved in the instruction. When one is speaking or leading instruction, hopefully the other would be going around the classroom and checking on students as they go.
All right. This quote was chosen because I had a discussion with the student, and the student was saying, well, I can't do it because I'm not smart enough. I was like, what do you mean you're not smart enough? You do whatever you want to do. Then the student went on to say, well, you know, I've never been to high school. All right. Did you try hard? No, I stopped trying hard because I know I can't do it. The student went on to explain to me that he has been told over and over again that he's not smart. So it's like when I come to class, you know, I don't really use my time wisely because I just can't do it. So what you gonna do with the rest of your life? I don't know. I'll find a job. But who's gonna give you a job if you don't try? So he said, well, I don't know. I can get assistance. So I was like, what kind of assistance? He said, I can get assistance from the government. I said, but you know you got to try to fill out all the applications and everything to get there, right? So anything you do, you got to try. All right? So many of us have this attitude of failure. I can't do it, so I'm not going to try. I don't want everyone to know how much I'm not as smart as they are. So you know what? I come in and just act up. All right? This is your last chance to get it for free. Because after this, you're going to pay for everything that you get. Stop having the attitude of failure. Stop saying, I want to be like such and such. No, you don't. You want to be like yourself. Because you are uniquely made. And when you were made, no mistake was made. No, we may not all think the same. We may not all learn the same. We may not all look the same. You know, Curtis can go out there on the football field and he can do that. And, you know, I go out there, they probably throw me up in the air like a paper bag or something. And that's fine. Because you know what? Even though Curtis is smart in this, I'm smart in that. And if Curtis and I can come together and work on something, maybe Curtis can help me. And maybe I can help Curtis. You know, some of you come in here and you just waste time. Everything is a joke. I'm not going to do this, I'm not going to do that. But like I tell you, this is your last chance getting it. And it makes no sense when a coach wants me better than you do. It makes no sense at all. All right? So stop having this attitude of failure. Because none of us fail unless we want to. You can do whatever you want to do. Whatever you want to do. I was told one time, because I wasn't a good test taker when I was in high school. I just wasn't. I mean, I graduated with honors. I did. Come give me a time test, I would freak out. And that's exactly what I did on my SAT. I just freaked out every time because I knew it was time. All right? So here I am graduating with a 3.5, and I go ahead and take this test, and I just freak out every time. So I had a counselor tell me, you know what, maybe you shouldn't think about college. Think about the Army. Have you ever thought about going to the Army? What? I said, ma'am, everyone in my family goes to college. I've been told I was going to college since I was born. She was like, are you gonna do in college? So I was like, whatever, thank goodness I didn't go home and tell my mom. But I went on to college. My first semester I made a 4.0. Why? Because I wanted to. I made the decision to do that. Was it easy? No, not at all. Second semester, I made all A's and 1 B. Now my mission was to make all A's. That's all right, I got the B. That's okay. But I did it because I wanted to do it. Now I could have taken that and I could have said, you know what? I'm not smart enough. I can't do it. You know, I do well in class, but I'm not going to make it in college. So I'm just not going to do it. I'm just going to give up. I just go and move in a project with Boom Chica and have a couple babies and a couple baby dads. That's what I could have said. But I decided that I was going to have an attitude of faith. You guys need to decide that you're not going to have an attitude. All right? Coach, I know you want to say something. What you want to say?
How did you know?
Because I know you want to get on your soapbox.
How did you know?
Because I know you first.
Yeah, that's true. I'll try to keep it short.
Try.
I usually don't do very good, but it goes a lot with what I told y'all the other day about finding your place, finding your role in life. I think a lot of failure simply comes from people trying and wanting something that they just can't have. You know, wanting that spot on the team that's just really not meant for you. Wanting, you know, a Rolls Royce, and wanting to live in Highland Park. You know, there's only certain people that are set out and destined to do those things. So a lot of failure, I think, comes from people wanting what they can't have, or wanting what's not destined for them, what's not intended for them. And then when they don't get it, they throw their hands up and say, well, that, I'm not there. I'm not that, you know, superstar that I was destined to. You know, I'm not a famous rapper. I'm not this, I'm not that. Instead of embracing what they do have and figuring out, you know, this stage of your life is all about figuring out where that is and where that's going to take place. And sometimes it has a lot of bumps and curves in the road. You know, for me it was no different. I was a journalist. I was writing stories and editing stories and doing all that stuff. And then just when I hit the age of about 27, 26, something like that, it's like I just had this revelation. Something told me I was not doing what I was supposed to be doing. And I needed to make a change. Because I sat and looked at everything and I said, you know, I'm working my tail off and I'm not where I want to be and I'm not seeing any benefit from it. Those guys that sit in those glass offices that I don't ever get to talk to, they kind of just stay bosses. They're the ones benefiting from this. They're the ones that live in Highland Park and they're the ones doing all the stuff that I thought I would be doing. Until I realized there was something else I was supposed to be doing. There was something bigger that I was destined for. And when I sat and I really thought about it, I realized it all came down to where everything started for me, which was on a football field. And that was what, you know, that was sort of the revelation I came to. That led to me going to get certified to be a teacher. That led to me, you know, doing everything I've basically done for the past 16 years. And so you're going to have those same bumps in the road. If you know exactly what you're going to do at this point, and you end up doing that for 4 years, you're rare. Sometimes it's you do one thing, and then you change gears, you do something else, then you change gears, you do something else. Or maybe that involves some sort of athletic career. Well, like I tell athletes all the time, that's a finite thing. That's something that's going to end, no matter what happens. If you're lucky enough to be one of those rare ones that get to play in college, that's going to end too. If you're really, really lucky and you get to play at a professional level or do something at a professional level, that's finite too. Those guys don't last long. Then, what are you going to do then? I can't tell you how many athletes I've talked to who went that whole route and they spent a couple of years in the league and made a couple $1 million and now they're sitting with nothing because they didn't plan for that. They said, oh, I'm just gonna make all this money, I'm gonna be a pro football player, pro basketball player, and that's it. Well, they did that till they were 24. Well, you got 60, 70, 80 more years to live. What are you gonna do then? So, you can't get caught up in, oh, I'm not where I thought I would be, or where I think I should be. You know, goals have to be realistic. You also gotta dream big, but also be realistic, and there's a fine line that you gotta walk between those two. And that's the key to success in my opinion. So, it wasn't too bad. It wasn't bad as bad.
Wasn't bad.
I went on the whole class pretty good.
All right, guys. All I tell you guys, just stay focused, all right? English class is no class is a place to play.
Can I share something? So like it was Monday when someone came to talk to Avid,
Yeah.
and the speaker that came to us told us no one is born to be smart. We have our own talent to learn, and it depends on how we take it. And we could be, our background could be all bad and stuff, but it just depends how much time and effort we take into things
Very
and
good.
stuff.
Very good, because
Amen.
we have to make a decision that we want to do better, or that we want to have better. Sometimes we look and we say, but such and such has so easy because of this. Such and such probably worked hard for what he or she has. And so you have to make a decision that that is what you want to do. Like I said, none of us learn the same way. I'm a visual learner. You can tell me something all day. I don't get it. When I see it, oh, that's what you're talking about. I got it. But it took me a little time to find out how I learned and then to use it to my advantage. You know, there are so many of us who have been labeled, and we live that label. Someone has told you you couldn't do, and so you say, you know what, I can't, so I'm not going to even try. And then you expect for people to give you something because of this label. But once you leave this school and you go out into that world does not care about labels or anything at all. And that world is not going to give you a doggone thing. You're going to have to work for it. All right? So use this time that you have, use it. Use it to your advantage. Because like I say, after this, I don't care if you decide to want to take just one class, you're going to have to pay for it. You've been given it. You've been given the opportunity right now for free. So use it. All right? And thank you for sharing that with us. Because yes, we make the decision what we want to have and what we want to do. Okay? We make the decision. Now, today we have a medieval period quiz. Did we finish with our notes?
No.
Where did we stop?
And
Take out your notes, huh?
Portland love.
Courtney Love. So you almost finished. That's right. Coaches, here we go.
Cause you abandoned us.
I abandoned you. I did. I had a teacher skip day. Yes. I skipped. All right, Coach. So we got to Courtney Love.
That's right.
That's right. Coach, would you mind kind of helping me so I can kind of see where you guys were and what's going on and all that kind of other good stuff? It's coming up. Slowly but surely. What are the dates for the Anglo-Saxon period?
449.
Not 449.
No,
Oh, Anglo-Saxon, I'm sorry. What are the dates for the medieval period? I asked for the wrong period. That's Anglo-Saxon. When did the Anglo-Saxon period end? What is it? 1066. So the Anglo-Saxon period ended 1066. The medieval period began 1066. When did it end? 1485. All right? So the medieval period is 1066 to 1485.
This is where we stop.
This is where we stop. All right? You want to turn off the front lights? Thank you so much, sir.
We were talking about how one was.
The one, yes, definitely. I love to talk about this part. All right. So So the woman is in complete control. Period. That's the end. Right there in your notes. So let's keep on moving. All right. Now, when we talk about the woman being in complete control, keep in mind that most of this really means that she was in complete control of his feelings and his heart. All right. The three things. What are the three things that the knight is loyal to? The three people he's loyal to.
His God,
His
Lord, and
his
his
Lord, and his lady.
His lady.
Very, come on, baby D, with your bad self. All right, so he is loyal to God, he's loyal to his Lord, and he's loyal to his lady. All right, so the man is still in charge. I mean, we know that whole little thing about the woman is to submit to her husband and all that other kind of good stuff that we say when we get married. All right, so we do understand that, but she's in control. Ricky? Are you right, baby?
Yeah,
You
I'm
okay?
alright.
Oh, okay, you're a friend. Say amen. You're a friend, right? You're a friend? I know you are. Okay, you're a friend. All right, so the man is in charge, but the woman is in control of his feelings and his heart. All right. What does the knight do for his lady? He respects her. What else does he do for her? You're saying what? He serves the country and he serves her also, right? How does he serve her?
Cook, clean.
Cook, clean, all that's good. How else does he serve her?
Man.
By doing what? By being a what?
A man.
By being a man. Taking care of her,
Man.
right? Protecting her.
Remember Mario Brothers?
What did y'all talk about Mario Bros? Who was it about?
Oh, how
Yeah,
Mario
look,
goes
well,
next to
Oh,
somebody
okay.
else.
That's right. All right. Are there any questions about the ideal of courtly love? Any questions? All right. So, the nice love for the lady inspires him to do great deeds and also be worthy of her love or to win her favor. All right? Once again, she's in control of his feelings, she's in control of his heart, and he does all these things to make her happy, make her feel good. You know, like now. You take her flowers, you take her chocolate, you take her diamonds, you take her out to eat, take her to the movies, don't just sit at home watch Netflix, take me somewhere. All right? So you do all these things to woo her, to have her attention. All right? To keep her. You do that to get her, and then you have to do that to keep her. All right? If you want your lady. And the knight does all those things also with his lady. All right. Let's keep on. Love. Woo! Does anybody know anything about love? Anybody know? Oh, you know something? Y'all know this something? You got something? Answer this question for me. What is love? What is love?
Oh, Miss, I got it. It's a practical weapon.
What is it?
I stole it from Norby, but you know.
Okay.
Love
Love
is the train
is the train.
Amen.
that goes forward,
It goes forward,
oh, yeah, brother.
backward,
Side. Oh, yeah, brother.
side.
Round, preach, brother, preach.
Round.
Love goes round.
Love goes around.
Can I get an amen?
Amen. Now I will pick up offering. All right.
Okay.
All right. All comes to me.
Oh, my turn? Jesus said to me personally, that's nice, 20%.
That's 20%. I got you 20%.
I want some
All
praise
right.
Christ.
So
Nobody like
we know what love is. Well, I think we know what love is.
you heard me.
How do we know when we're in love?
When they do some.
Ooh, Barshak, go ahead.
Okay, because I know nowadays a lot of men is real stuff.
A lot of men are stubborn.
So
Like Coach,
you
yeah.
in love with a girl. When you in love, when you give in on that stubbornness,
You give in.
she tell you to sleep on that couch, you be like, nah, you sleep on it, and then she be like, man, you gonna sleep on the couch. So
And
you
then
like,
you end
baby,
up
I'm
on the
sorry, I
couch.
love you, I sleep on the couch.
Hey, love, that's your room.
All right, anyone else? How do we know when we're in love? How do we know we're in love?
Think about them 24/7.
Think about it.
7 days a
7
week.
7 days a week.
Friends.
Eye contact. All right, you see this? At each other's eyes.
You know the face I make.
All right. Yeah, we know the face.
Hey, oh, I know one.
What?
Give her your last hot one.
You give me your last hug. Now
What was
that
that
is
for?
love. When you give me your the last hot wing.
Nah, last bag of noodles.
Heidi has something to say? What is love, girl? Break it down for me.
Break it down now.
Well, love is like seeing someone happy and it makes you happy.
Very good. And want them to be happy.
Yeah, you want them to
You
be
want
happy.
them to
You
be
want the
happy.
best for them.
Very good.
She
She is gonna be a sweet girl. I ain't going somewhere. I'm telling y'all this. She's going happy. She is. She's going. All right. Anybody else? King.
You didn't tell us what your love is.
I gotta get to mine. King.
Love. Love is a whole word.
Be quiet. Be quiet is when you stop talking.
Can I get the definition?
Can I keep it? All right, King. King. How do you know? How does a person know when they are in love?
When you kind of when they're on your mind 24/7, and all you do is think about them.
All you do is think.
Y'all forget the main thing.
Yes, she got
Love.
She got
Okay, okay.
Wait,
Everybody be quiet.
gotta get mine.
Let
Gotta
her
get
talk.
mine.
It's her turn.
Yes,
Stop
it is.
She's still be twice.
Jesus.
She was like,
All right, go ahead, Heidi. What do you have to say?
Love can also be like sad. It's like letting someone go even though you don't want to.
Oh.
But you still want the best for them, so you just let them on their own way.
That's true. That's true. Josh, everybody be quiet because now Josh is about to give a philosophy of love.
It's like a box of chocolates.
That's it. That's fire right there. You ain't got no nothing else.
It's right there.
I want to with you on my mind.
Okay, you can add on to it.
Love is like a box of chocolate. You don't know what you gonna get or what it's gonna taste like, but you still know you gonna.
That's right. You get somebody crazy. Yeah, you think you're saying.
Miss
Love is like, it's not about how hard you hit, like, it's not about what you get. It's not about like how much effort you put in, it's not about how much you buy, it's not about all of that. It's about what you get out of the relationship. And if you
Love
Good.
Other words.
Definition of love.
I like that. I like that. I like that.
It's about the.
All right, so.
Man, you tell us what love is.
Baby, let me take some class. I got it. All right, so as you can see, we all have different definitions of love. One thing I will say is that love does not hurt at all.
does.
Yes,
It
it
does
does.
not. You stopped it. I said my definition. Did I say your definition, King?
No, you
Did I say
didn't.
anything was wrong with your definition that you gave?
Burst.
I like it. Very good. All right. Love does not hurt. And I have to agree with Heidi. Love is when you want to see the other person do well. You want them to be happy. You want to see them doing well. Coach, you got something to say?
Oh, let me get in the soap, but you know, back in the
2 minutes, Coach. No, 1 minute.
I can do it shorter than
Okay.
that. I think it's when you truly put someone else's everything before yourself.
Yes, definitely.
And then when you look back, it's hard to imagine what life was like before they came along.
Very good. Excellent. I like that.
Not enough
I like
sounds
that.
on the boat.
That was good.
We were short and
That
sweet.
was good.
Make it good.
All right. Short and sweet. All right. So here we have Josh. No. Thank you. So here we have the symptoms of love. Symptoms of love are usually described as sickness. All right, so how do I know when I'm in love? Does this love sick coming on? And the symptoms are sighing. There he is. Turning pale. Someone's gonna turn pale. Turning red. Fever. I've never had a fever before. You ever had a fever, Coach?
No.
Oh, this?
Being in love.
A love fever?
Probably like a
I
headache.
probably thought I did when I was
Miss Clay, had you ever had a fever?
Well, you know, the song Fever.
Y'all done had the fever before. You know, when your man just take you up off your feet.
All right.
When I was 16, I had like 35 girlfriends. They just didn't
Whoa,
know.
whoa, whoa! From the
was shy. He was shy. All right. So, tutoring after class on how to get 35 girls and they not know it. Coach is leaving. All right. Inability to sleep. I'm sorry, guys, but nothing stops my sleep. I'm sorry. Nothing. I know, huh? Nothing at all. Inability to eat. I like food. All right. And inability to drink. I don't know. Y'all can have a drink because I'm eating. So, no. I don't know about that one. I'm not sure. All right. Characteristics of medieval literature. Here we are. We added to our messages. Excuse me, our notes. So, one characteristic of medieval literature. The first one is romance. All right. And so, in the medieval selections that we're going to read, which we're only really going to look at one, which is Canterbury Tales, you will see characteristics of romance and also Christian message, especially in Canterbury Tales. All right, because we have several pilgrims on the pilgrimage who are Christians. All right, but if you remember last class period, you were taking notes on the medieval period. Corruption in church started during the medieval period. So we have a lot of religious people on this pilgrimage, but you're going to see the corruption. You're going to see that they're not following the ideals of living as a Christian. All right? So what all do I need to write on this, Mrs. Brown? Characteristics of medieval literature, romance, Christian message. All right? We talked about taking notes. When you take notes, you don't write everything down word for word. You write down the important information. All right? In a college class, the professor's not going to wait. He keeps talking. He keeps going. You miss something. You miss it. Yes. Oh, very good. That's a good question. Is it okay to take pictures of the slide? You have to have his permission. You have to. The professor's permission. Okay? So you just don't take out your camera and start taking pictures. All right? This is the last slide of the medieval period. And we're supposed to have a quiz. But because I know you probably didn't study because you knew you were going to have more notes, I'll save the quiz for next class.
Oh, Miss Brown, you love us. I see because you rolling your eyes and you still doing us a favor. I see
All right. So let me just ask you a couple things about the medieval period. Make sure you know all is well. And make sure that you guys will be ready. What are the dates of the medieval period again? 1485. Very good, very good. What were the 3 estates of the medieval period? The 3 estates.
Rome.
Look in your notes. What are the 3 estates? 3 estates.
The Bretons.
Clergy. Commoners. And nobles. Very good. Very good. All right. So clergy, commoners, and nobles. All right. What is the language of? What are the 3 languages?
Latin, French, and English.
Very good. Where was most of the education received?
In the
church. And what was the language of the church?
Latin.
Very good. Excellent, excellent, excellent. What is feudalism? Okay, in your own words, I don't want you to read it to me. Just tell me what is feudalism.
They give lands to the farmers and they profit out of it.
Very good. Excellent, excellent. All right. How did this work for those who were working for them? Could they easily get out of this situation? Or were they usually stuck in the situation of staying on that land? They were stuck, all right? It was very hard for them to get out. But as you saw when you were taking notes, something came on that kind of changed that. What was the name of the plague that came along?
Black.
Yeah, very good. What is black?
Right.
It's a whole bunch of diseases.
Everybody was nasty and disgusting, and they decided.
Discouraged. All right. And what are some of the things that happened during that time?
Oh, they
Everyone's
have
got
more
what?
job opportunities.
What happened?
They had more job opportunities since the people
Why?
were dying.
Because a lot of people were dying. All right. Most of the population was dying. So the two good things that came out of Black Death were job opportunities and what else? No more what?
More land, wasn't it? No.
Long lines.
No more debt. Very good. Job opportunities, more job opportunities, and no more debt. Because when they died, they died. All right? Couldn't take a job with them. And then they couldn't take the debt with them either. All right? So those two things were the two things, the two positive things that came out of it. Tell me a type of medieval literature. There were several. A type of medieval literature. Look at your notes. No, a type of medieval literature. Stop talking, Josh. Give me a type of medieval literature. Take that out of your head, Josh. Thank you. It's a 12th grade class, not a 9th grade class. Okay? Thank you. Give me a type of medieval literature. Come on, come on. What is it? Religious poetry. What else? Very good. What else? Sonnets. That's better. Very good. Excellent, excellent. All right, let me see. What is Courtney Love?
When the women's in control.
The woman's in control. Very good. What else?
The night serves the woman.
Say it again.
The night serves the woman.
The night serves the woman. Anything else you want to add to that? That's it. All right. We'll have the quiz next class period. I hope you're ready. We're going to go on and we're going to move to the prologue of the Canterbury Tales. Did we do the free reading? The free reading assignment here? I think I'm going to go on and move to the prologue of the Canterbury Tales. Let's get the books out. I need you to get your books out and turn to page 144. Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right. So what's the prologue? What is it? Background story. Introduction. All right. So we're not going to read the Canterbury Tales because it's a thick book. All right. It's one of the books I had to read in undergrad. But we're not going to read Canterbury Tales because it is the prologue, which we are going to read, and it is the tales of each pilgrim. All right. So our book only has the prologue, and that's what we're going to focus on. While they're passing out the books, I'm going to pass out the notes pages, and there are 3 pages for your notes. Unfortunately, the copier was not stapling. All right. So we'll staple them ourselves. Okay, come back.
Coochie on my body, what you mean? Real hard.
Yes. You need to submit your essay. If you would just, the second will come around, make sure you staple all papers together, the final draft goes on top, and just pass them all up to the front of your roll.
Why you want to take pictures?
Final draft on top.
You can convert it. Your phone here? Yeah. Now, why would you do it? You're not going to win. I'm not going to do it. And who did you spend on the last time? Hey, y'all know they put lips on this Oscar Club?
Yes, staple all together. You staple your rough draft and your final draft together. The final draft go on top.
Hit them with that blacker.
You know what, baby D, I'm not gonna talk to you again. No. Don't look. Stop. Okay? 144. 144.
No, no, John. Take it to school. You got it. Take that phone. Take that phone.
Come outside. Come outside. You come outside. Pass the plate.
Come on, Andre.
I'm just so doggone tired of playing with you guys. Doesn't make any sense.
I'm showing you for real.
Baby.
Yeah, I'm showing
I came back and did this reflection. I walked into the class about 15 minutes in. It was a student-led discussion about a journal entry. They had a quote on the board. I walked in, wanted to see if there was an objective on the board for that day, just letting me know what they'd be doing. That's something that we have to do in our school and something that the administrators are always looking for. They did have an objective letting me know that they were going to be talking about the medieval period. After the student discussion, the general ed teacher got up, did some reflection herself about what they discussed. Also, the co-teacher then got up and did some reflection himself about the topic they were discussing. Then they went on to do notes. There were guided note sheets for the kids that followed their PowerPoint from last class. They were discussing things about like love and being sick in love, things like that. So what I was looking around for was, were the students engaged? Was the whole class engaged, or was it just a certain type of student? So what I noticed was that about half the class was engaged. Some of the kids had their heads down. Some of the kids were listening and taking notes but not participating. There was one student in the back where I was sitting who didn't have notes, her back was turned to the teachers the whole time, things like that. She was a special education student. The co-teacher, though, he never left his desk at the front or got up and walked around, which is a little bit surprising to me. I'm in a co-teach setting also, and that's kind of a big thing that we try to stay in the power zone with those kids, make sure that they're paying attention, look at the notes as they're taking them to kind of make sure that they're following along like they should be. They had some teacher-led discussion, but they did allow the students to do a lot of the talking. They allowed the students to bring up questions. The questioning part of it sometime was not as responsive as I'd like, so they'd ask a question and the same people would be answering the whole entire time, so others didn't have a chance. But what I noticed is towards the end of me being there, the general ed teacher would say, hold on, let's let everybody get their thoughts and ideas together, and then she'd pick on someone from there. Since it was a co-teach classroom, I saw a pretty diverse mix of kids, even on ability levels from the ones that I could see in the back. I did see a lot of kids that were trying, and then the other side was just kids who completely weren't doing anything at all. I did hope that either the co-teach or the general ed teacher would kind of move more throughout the classroom to make sure that kids were on task and understanding what they were talking about. But the general ed teacher did most of the discussion. She stood up in the front of the classroom, and the co-teach, our special education teacher, he was at his desk the entire 45 minutes I was there. So that didn't happen. The general ed teacher did make sure that she summarized major points. So after they would have had about 5 or 10 minutes of discussion, she'd come back and summarize the major points, try to make sure that everyone had those on their paper. I liked that just because with all the discussion, sometimes kids aren't sure exactly what they need to take down, and she tried to make sure that she did that. She also, if she asked a question and no one knew the answer, she would go back to the slide that they talked about it, let them have a few minutes to read over that, take down notes, and then ask the question again and see how many of them got that. They were supposed to have a quiz today, but she ended up switching it because she was not in class last week. But she did go ahead and give them a little preview to make sure that they know what was coming, and to make sure that since she wasn't there last time, they kind of knew the important points that she wanted them to hear about. So there was two issues with discipline during the class period. Just guys that were playing with each other, had their phones out. The general ed teacher took them both outside, which is something that I'm looking for, that she's not not scolding them in front of all the kids. Like, she might have given them little cues like, put your phone away real quick, things like that. But when they continued to do that, continued to talk to each other, she did go outside and talk to them. During that time, the co-teacher did get up, but he didn't continue this discussion. They were passing out papers, doing things like that. So he just kind of made sure that everyone had their stuff, and then he still waited for her to come in to continue with the discussion. So my feelings about the whole thing, I thought that it was a very good class as far as she definitely had a lot of students' attention, especially with the subject matter. There was laughter. There was real life experiences that were brought in. I think that a lot of kids that participated in it definitely got what they needed to out of the material. I was a little shocked just about the fact that her and the co-teacher didn't have much interaction. With the journal, he spoke about his own, life experiences with that kind of stuff. And then about love, he talked about his own life experiences. But those were the only two times he stood up and got away from his desk. So I just know, as far as the kids that are in these co-teach classes, they're definitely looking for extra support from a teacher. So that support needs to be out at their desk. They need to have reminders to stay on task, things like that are in their accommodations. So it just did shock me a little bit that they didn't. Also, when the general education teacher was gone last class, the special education teacher is the one who taught the lesson. So I feel like he's very capable and able. It's just one of those things, like, they have to find the balance between what they're going to be doing, how they're going to do it, and then even for both of them, because if he's the one up speaking, the general ed teacher can also be the one out in the classroom helping kids out. I was concerned about the one girl who sat beside me in the back. She didn't have a book. She didn't have notes pages. She didn't have any of that stuff. And we need to make sure that that's available to every student, no matter if they're going to use it or not. But the information should have at least been available for her when they started reading the Canterbury Tales. The only other thing I can really make of the situation is just that they're both new into the school year as co-teachers with each other. So I would just urge them to, get to know each other a little more. Maybe he takes a certain part of class, he does the journal, the student-led journals that they have, and he wraps up the discussion. Or while they're doing notes, she'll do this part of the PowerPoint, you can do the readings, things like that, to just kind of make the transition a little bit more smoothly. And the whole point of it is just that the kids are getting some type of differentiated instruction, that they're getting that extra support that they need to make them successful within the classroom. It's not just about getting information from two teachers, it's also about the fact that, some of those discipline problems could have maybe stopped just because there was a teacher standing by them, or if they knew someone was coming around, they'd actually have been paying more attention to their notes instead of each other, because they're like, oh, this teacher's going to come around and tell me, I need to get started on my notes. So just things like that. I thought it was good observing another classroom. It's something I've done before along with an administrator, just as so they can kind of tell us what they're looking for. I did see objectives. I did see students that were being participative. I did see her stop the discipline issues as soon as they were happening, and then redirected them outside since it was a little bit more important than that. She also changed seats for the two students so that she didn't have to worry with them anymore. Didn't see much of the teacher being in the power zone. But I did see her trying to incorporate lots of life experiences and things like that to keep kids' attention. And that was pretty much it. So I think it was a good experience. and something that I look forward to doing more.